Another controversial video. Disclaimer, you might get slightly offended by this one. I'm going to say things that you probably don't like, but it is with the sole intention of opening you up to new ways of viewing things, with that new intended perspective designed to benefit you and give you better circumstances in your business and in your life. So it's not necessarily going to be one that's nice in the short term. You might face issues. There might be a certain level of disagreement or uncomfort from watching this, but in the long term, if you actually implement some of these things and see new evidence and information around it, you'll be in a better position. So without further ado, let's go in and explain what I mean. Now, the title of this video is that you have never made a sale in your life or your career. I haven't fully decided on it just yet. What do I mean by this? If you're a broker and you're operating a relatively small business, I'm going to assume that the start of your career was a little difficult. Let's say we have a high level overview of this and then you actually in the trenches doing it. Let's imagine I'm going to make a really weird analogy. You, whenever you're trying to get friends and family and close relatives and close relationships and your existing network on as clients and on for business, was kind of a little bit like, when you wake up at 4 a.m. and it's dark and you need to go for a piss and you get out of your bed, maybe you stub your toe, you bang into the door because it's all dark and you can't see anything, you're like, oh. And maybe as you turn on the bathroom light and you can see a little better, but your eyes like, oh, and you start to adjust a little better. That's when you've sort of made it out of that initial block of working with friends and family and trying to get on those people who are 100% sold on you and fully trust you. And that's just the start of the analogy. It's only one that works at the start. So the next level to this is repeat business from those guys. After having pushed ahead with all of that initial potential that you had in the form of your existing network, you can start securing repeat business a couple of years down the line from them. They can start referring their own friends and family to you, if obviously you've done a good job for them. And you can create a self-sufficient client bank whereby you have repeat business from the first couple of hundred people that you work with, and they continue to refer people to you. And overall, you might end up doing between 5 and 10 cases, maybe even up to 20 to 30 if you take on, maybe some self-employed guys, things like that. This is who this video is targeted at, by the way. You might be doing 20 to 30 cases, 20 to 30 sales each month, but there are different levels to the sales game with these guys. So let's take, for example, family members. They already trust you. They know who you are and they would trust you in any circumstance. And because of this, they're willing to trust you with their mortgage, which is quite a sensitive issue. A lot of your family members aren't going to need someone to look at their mortgage. So what you might find is that it's only the select few that actually need a review or are coming up for renewal in the next 6 to 12 months, whatever, that actually give you the time of day. So number one, they trust you and they're in a position whereby it actually makes sense for them and they're 100% decided on the idea that they're going to be doing something, especially if this is a renewal. They're going to be doing something and they already trust you. So they're sold in the process and they're sold on you. And with the referrals, from the repeat business that comes from that, it's constant renewal. So number one, you only have to sell one you once. But when it comes to renewal, 2 years down the line after the fix ends, 5 years down the line after the fix ends, they've already bought the thing anyway. You don't need to sell them on the service again. You don't need to sell them on you again. So it's not really a sale. It's just collect your cash. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, people can leave, they can go to other brokers. How hard is it for you to just retain a client that's already done business with you and is getting the exact same product from another broker? I don't really think that's a challenge. I think if anything, it's more of a fuck up for you to let something like that go as opposed to it as an achievement to secure that business. That's my perspective on that. And when it comes to the referrals that come from those clients that you initially work with, so their friends and family, their immediate circle who say, oh yeah, you're looking at mortgage, mate? Yeah, this guy that I work with, so you watching this, he did a really good job for me, so I think you should go to him. So what's happened there? So friend of a friend, let's say you work with John, and John's friend David needs a mortgage. David says, oh, do you know a mortgage advisor? You're a mortgage advisor. And John says, oh yeah, this guy. So what's happened? Him vouching for you, oh yeah, he's the man, go to him. He's sold on you because he trusts you, because he's got that social validation there. But additionally, he only asked the question of, do you know a mortgage advisor? Because he'd already decided that he needed a mortgage. So in this instance, you don't even have to sell on you or the process once again. And all of these sales are based on leads being in the condition and fitting the criteria that they are sold on you and trust you, and they're sold on the process and trust the process as well. I'm not saying that there's a problem with this method of sales. You'll secure good business from it. These will be easy clients to work with. You'll not have to struggle and find that you face objections and difficulties in the sales process. And you'll be able to onboard people, fulfill for them easier. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this portrays the entirety of the sales world, or that's the second that someone doesn't fit that criteria, that you can't do business with them. And here's the thing that you need to be careful of. The people that fit the criteria being sold on you and sold on the process are like 0.0000000000001% of the entire market. You've got no people that actually know you out of like what, 80 million people in the UK. It's going to be like no one. It's going to be such a small fraction of the population. And the people that are sold in the process, it'll be bigger, but it's not going to be quite as big as the people who are problem aware, but don't necessarily have a solution. And by focusing on those people and targeting a larger sector and a larger cohort of the market, you can return more business. It's just more difficult. So people choose not to do it, and they say, oh, well, it doesn't fit the same criteria, the leads and the sales that I've made, so they must be bad leads. And they blame the leads, get stuck in the same position in their business and don't grow. But it's the people that provided the leads' fault. I want to tell you a story about how I made my first sales and how I still have to make my own. Not every single one of them, but I'll tell you a story of how I started my business and how I secured my first clients, my first sales. I would go to Google and I would scrape businesses using Instant Data Scraper. And I put them on an Excel spreadsheet. Then I would have virtual assistants from the Philippines scrape through the website, scrape through the reviews, scrape through company's house to find the owner's name of the business, put it in. I paid them like a tenner for like 100 business owners' names. Took them like an hour. And I would call the business and be like, hey, is John there? They'd be like, oh, yeah, he is. Who's calling? Oh, tell him it's Emmett, please. So like, Emmett, does he know you? Like, yeah, he better fucking know me. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, I'll put you through. I'm like, John, mate, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I just want to be honest from the get-go. I have something to sell to your business today. You haven't spoke before. Would you rather leave you alone, or are you at least open to hearing how I could potentially help you in your business? If like, Emmett, fuck off, and hang up on me. 97 times out of 100. Phone down, phone down, phone down, phone down, phone down. Another call, another call, another call, another call from people that don't know me, don't want to hear from me. I don't even know that they need my product. I don't even have a product. This is something that I've just formulated and I've never put to the test. Wow. Got a little deep for you there for a second. And the reason I am telling you that story is because I'm still here. I still have a business, and I still sold people on that. I've now put myself in a position where I've gone through enough shit of trying to make those types of sales and not listening to people saying, hey, I'm not interested. Not listening to pushbacks from prospective clients, not listening to objections that people give me, not listening to people saying, this isn't going to work, not listening to myself saying this isn't going to work. And whenever a lead says I need to think about it, like, oh, it's a shit lead, and then telling the lead provider to get fucked. It's like, what do you think is more likely? That 99.9% of the market are unqualified leads, or that there may potentially be an issue with your sales process? Because I've dealt with the leads that fit that 99.9% criteria. I've dealt with worse. And I'm still here. I still made a business for myself out of it. So I always say to people to review what it is that you want. If you want the goal bad enough, you'll be willing to work with people that aren't 100% sold on you, aren't 100% sold in the process. Develop ways and put processes in place to get them to like, know, and trust you. Put processes in place to get them sold on the process as well. And once you've secured the like, know, and trust factor, and you've shown them that this is the best method and get them to buy into the process as well, all that you need to do is say, hey mate, sign on the line that is dotted. And they'll fucking sign it. But if you rely on people to come to you to build that trust themselves, to take action themselves, they're not going to do it. Because humans will lean towards not doing things because it takes too much cognitive energy, and we're not built for expending energy where we don't need to, despite the fact that it may well put us in a better circumstance. Because it's homeostasis, it's status quo. We know that we're eating food every day and we're going to bed and we're surviving. Why make a change? We're not going to bother doing it. It's just human nature. So be the one that breaks that status. Be the one that breaks that status quo, that pushes through despite the fact that we don't want to, that we don't want to do it. Do the things that you know that you don't want to do, and you'll secure more sales. Simple. That is it. Whew. If you want to see how I can potentially help you with doing this, and actually having me involved in your sales process, so me coming through, doing out scripts for you, actually identifying bottlenecks and problems that you're facing in your niche to help you with securing more sales consistently, and also making the most of the leads in your pipeline so that you can create more opportunities to sell to people, then click on the first link in the description. You can come on, have a chat with me to see exactly how I can help. I will try and sell you on it, so don't click on the link because it'll be a waste of my time and yours. And if you want my systems and my pipeline just without me being involved, then you can click on the second link. You can get that for free. So I appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to seeing the next video as well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.